Hello and welcome back to this Inkscape tutorial. Today we are going to talk about text and font, how to create text and how to use it in design. So to access the text, you go on the left hand panel here and click on this letter A. And when you hover over there on your page, you see a little plus sign there. Just click on the page and here is a cursor. I'm going to type in a text and I'll say text. I'll just click on select and position it here close to the center top of our page. Something that I would like to talk about from the beginning, just because you're going to be designing things later and you want to start off with all the right practices, is that when you create objects, and this is something we did not touch on in the previous videos, we want to form the habit of keeping this lock right here closed. The difference is that, like we said earlier in one of the videos, when you keep this open, it means if you want to scale, you have no control over the scaling sizes on the height and the length of this object, and that can distort an image. It's a very bad design practice to have images either squashed like this or squashed this way. So you always want to make sure that is constrained. So I'm going to undo this, and we want to keep this lock always closed so that when we design, when we create and scale, we don't get any funny squashes that we don't like. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now, like every other object we've created in the past, you can manipulate or change the properties of this text in various ways. For instance, you can go up there as it's selected, and you go to objects, and you can go to fill and stroke, and there under fill and stroke you can begin to change the properties, change the colors in various ways as we discussed in the previous video. But what we want to look at today is something a little more advanced in changing the structure of the text as we have it on the page. So let me select one letter. With one letter selected, for instance, I want to select one alphabet here. If I select X, I'm going to hold the Alt key or Option key if you're on Mac. Hold it down, and I'm going to press the arrow button down. You notice as I do that the text, the X is moving, and only the X is moving. I can manipulate this X as much as I want. I can go back to the stroke and fill. I can go to object. I can go to fill and stroke and change the color of the X. I can make it, let's turn it into something lighter green or red, as you can see. So if I click off there, you can see the text is different. Something else that we can do with this text is we can select this text, and if we want to change or extract out of the same text various forms of arrangements, we simply go up here to extensions, and under extensions you come down to text, and here you hover over to case. You can see the various options here. So if, say, now we have the T is in caps and EXT are small letters, so if you click on this, it will flip it so that all the capital letters becomes the small letters, just like that. If we go back there to extensions and go to text, we can make everything lowercase. We can make it random, where it mixes just in between randomly, or we can even make everything uppercase and even the title case, like that. So there are various ways that we can change our text. And let me show you something else. If you go to that text, and instead of going to the cases, we go right to the bottom and say split text. Now it's going to give us options of how we want to split the text, and don't worry, it will gray out our page, but we'll split it and come back. Just keep an eye on where we're working on. So I'm going to click on split text, and here our page is grayed out, and you see on the top right corner here it asks us, do you want to split them into lines or words or letters? So let me say words for now. So let's select words, and we're going to go down to the bottom of the page and click apply. And now it's applied. We close, and if you look here, it has created the same word that we have made a copy, but the difference is that it is kept as separate entities, as you can see. So these two are grouped because it thinks it can be categorized as a word. If this was a sentence, made of a couple of words, it will separate these into few words. Let me just hold on to this, and I want to go back there and say text, sorry, extension, and I want to go to text and go to split. Now I'm going to split letters. Now with letters selected, I'll go down to the page and say apply, wait for it to apply, and close the page. And now I have every single letter there on its own, separate from the actual text that the originals where they all came from. So this is how to apply those. So you can play around with all these. This can help when you're designing things and you want to test different fonts. You want to test how the image will look like. If I swapped this, you can quickly make a copy while retaining your original artwork as it was. Now, something else I would like to show you is how to put a text like this one on a path. So perhaps let me just create a new text there. So here we say now we want to put this on a path like this, like a circle. So I'm going to draw a big circle like that. Let's make it a bit bigger. Let's change your fill so that you are a bit different. So if I want this text to go along this path, I'll simply select this, hold down shift, select this, and I'll go up here and I'll select text, and this one that says put on path, and you see our hello world, our hello has gone on the path. So you can rotate and turn this around any which way, it will follow the path. So if I want to, for instance, add more writings there, so you can see how it keeps going around and around, and that's how you put text on a path. So if you would like, you can come over here with this selected, you can come to the fill here and stroke, and you can completely remove the fill. And you can also go to the stroke and click on this little icon here and remove the stroke as well. So it looks like the text is floating in space, as you can see. So let me just quickly reduce that so you can see. Here we go. So I can delete and type, and it will follow that path as long as it is there. Here we go. So if I click off, you can see it's completely free. I can rotate this around. I can use it for a logo. So this is where very good if you're designing a logo that has text going around the circle. All you have to do is draw a circle the same size as the path you want it to follow, and you place your font on there. Now, something else I'd like to touch on is how to change your font and the styling of the font here. So with your font, with this writing selected, I'll use this as an example. You go up here as well and you go to text and go to text and font right here. And this opens a diagonal box for us here. So here are all the fonts that we have on this various program. So you can begin to select what you like. And notice when I click on it, on a font family here, it changes at the bottom to show me a preview of what it will look like. But this is not yet applied until I click on apply. So let me show you quickly. If I click on apply, and you see now it changes. So you just go on here searching for the right font. When you are happy, when you found the one that you want, you simply come here and click apply, and then it applies it on the page. If you also want, if the font has different attributes, for instance, this is just normal, a normal regular one. So let's look for a font that probably has bold or something else added. Here we go. So here we see this one, and when you look here, you can see the font there. You can apply it to see what it looks like, but I can also make it bold. So if I click there, it becomes bold, and I can apply it as well. That's it. So play around with the font, select any font that you want and try to see if it suits what you want, and just to get familiar with changing your fonts and typography. So when we get deeper into designing things, we will see how to use these various. Okay, here's another one with italics. So you can italicize this if you want, italicize it if you want, and click on that, and you see it becomes italicized. So yeah, play around with all this and see how it works, and that's how we get familiar with the software. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.